Hi everyone, my name is Jordan and welcome to the third and final video in my Redefining Minimalism series. If you haven't seen my two previous videos, I will link them down below so you can learn more about my thoughts on minimalism. So in today's video, I want to talk about how minimalism can help move away from a more materialistic mindset as well as make you a more thoughtful and intentional consumer. Now, to talk about materialism, I want to start off with the definition of it in order to gain a better understanding and really analyze what exactly it means. So I'm looking at the dictionary right now online, and it says that materialism is a tendency to consider material possessions and physical comfort as more important than spiritual values. This essentially means that materialism is the idea that having possessions and belongings, how people think that brings more value to their lives and happiness rather than focusing on relationships, their personal well-being, and more. Also, as a disclaimer, I'm not trying to say that appreciating your possessions and having material goods is bad. I think it's quite difficult to not have items in your life that you love and appreciate. But I'm just saying that some people will purchase things in order to bring them happiness and find joy in their lives. And I think that doesn't come from having possessions. I think most of us can say that we've bought things in the past and just are excited to have them come to our house if you ordered it, or just going shopping in a mall. It's really nice to be able to walk into a store and just see all these things that you can possibly buy, and I think it brings a lot of people excitement. However, I've learned that when I buy things with the idea that it's going to make me happy, or I look forward to buying something, I might feel happy for a few days, a week or two, but after I've owned the item, I generally just lose a desire to have it in my life. There definitely are possessions I have that I have cherished for years, and I'm really grateful I did buy them or I did receive them as gifts. But for the most part, I feel like a lot of the items that I do buy on impulse are things that I don't really need, and I end up just feeling a bit unhappy that I got them in the first place. There was a summer that I dropped so much money on like books and bookmarks and like candles related to books. Like there was a whole summer where I was just obsessed with books and reading. And although I do love reading, I realized that all this money I was spending on these books, I could have used to purchase things that I would value and want for a lot longer. In hindsight, I do regret buying all those books, especially because half of them I ended up giving away or selling because I ended up not really enjoying those books. I feel that is also ingrained in our nature and in our mindset that we need to buy new things after every new season. I feel like it is told and it is normal to buy a new set of clothes or a whole new wardrobe for each new school year, and even additional school supplies that you end up just either throwing out or reusing anyways. I feel like this is a very consumeristic but also materialistic mindset when it comes to wanting to buy new things with the introduction of new times or new seasons, because it is ingrained in us that it will help to refresh our styles, our wardrobe, or it'll help just start you off fresh with the new school year. I feel like I've slowly worked away from this mentality, especially with exploring minimalism, because I've realized that I want to have items in my life that I truly value and that make me happy when I see them or use them. And of course, there are some items that I need to keep that I don't necessarily love. I think a big example is like having a plunger. You know, you have to have it for your toilet and you don't really love it, but it's just something that you should have around. I have noticed that I have less of a desire to go to the mall or do online shopping now that I have a more minimalistic mindset, because I want to have items in my life that I value and appreciate. And so I don't want to have this sort of fix or this attraction towards buying things just to make me happy, because I know that in reality, it's not going to last for a long time. This is also something that can be difficult to grow out of because, like I said, it's ingrained in us and we grow up thinking that we need to buy all these items to be happy, where in reality, this happiness and this enjoyment of life can come from your hobbies or from just being around people that you care about. One of my biggest tips is to write down things that you want. And I call this kind of like the write it down method, where you take some items that you've been wanting to buy or you might impulsively want to buy, and you write it down on a list. And after a month or two, go back to the list and just think, is this something that I wanted to buy because it was trending, or is because it's popular, or is this something that I still want and that I believe will bring value to my life and is something that I will enjoy for years to come? This has helped stop me from buying so many things that in hindsight, if I got them, I would have been like, why did I purchase this in the first place? And to bring back the idea that it can be difficult to avoid making these purchases, for example, Instagram just updated their app and have a whole section dedicated to buying and purchasing items. It's sort of like a market. And I think this app has really grown away from its original purpose of being able to share and post pictures that you like. Instead, I now find it filled with advertisements. Materialism can be something that is so hard to work away from, especially with these new additions to Instagram and other social media platforms that people tend to look on in order to find things that they want to get. When working away from materialism, which, like I said before, can be extremely difficult, it's important to find what you really value in life. Just reflect inwardly and consider, what is it that I want to get out of life that doesn't come from the items that I own? And when I asked myself, I found myself being confused because I just kept thinking about things that I own in my mind because those are what I value the most in life. And I realized that that's not the greatest mindset to have, because I would rather value people that I care about, things that make me happy, whether it's, going on a walk or going on a hike, things that I actually tend to enjoy. I think exploring hobbies and things that you're passionate about can be a great way to move away from a more materialistic mindset. Studies about materialism have shown that materialistic people tend to be less happy with life and have more anxiety and depression. And they also tend to be on the more narcissistic side and have poorer interpersonal relationships with people that they know. I'm not saying again that if you value material goods that you are automatically a bad person. I feel like it can be very difficult to stray away from this mindset that we've all been taught, as I've said throughout this video, and I just want you to know that it does not make you a bad person. I also think it's extremely important to treat yourself, and that's saying that if you're really stressed and you just need an escape from work or school, whatever it is, it's okay to maybe splurge a little bit on a purchase that you may not necessarily need, but that you feel like you need it in the moment. Taking care of yourself is the greatest priority, so if that's treating yourself to a massage, or a trip to the nail salon, or even just buying bags of candy and food and just having a really big self-care night, that is so important, because your mental health is definitely one of the top priorities. And if that is going to be sacrificed when it comes to trying to minimize things in your life, sometimes it's not always worth it. The occasional impulse purchase is not going to bring harm to you, and don't feel discouraged if you are trying to grow into minimalism and get rid of items, and then you find yourself buying a few things on impulse. The fact that you are making better decisions in your life and purchasing things with more intention, it is certainly an improvement, and trust me when I say that you're doing the best you can, and do not force yourself to make decisions that make you uncomfortable or make you unhappy. Now you're probably wondering, okay, what exactly is the answer to moving away from materialism? And I think mindfulness is something that can really combat materialism, because you can learn to value things that you have in your life, and you are more mindful of the purchases that you make. Also, being fully aware of the present moment that you're in can really make you more grateful and have more gratitude towards things that you already have in your life. And as I said before, it is completely okay to value material possessions, because ultimately it's good to be able to appreciate things that you have. Ultimately, the main message of this video was to show why materialism brings temporary happiness rather than fixed and permanent happiness. I want to thank you for watching, and comment down below if you have other thoughts, or if you can relate to things, or even if you disagree. I am all open for discussion, and I'm very curious to see what all of you guys think. Let me know if you have any ideas for future videos, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!